Wait, this is the 18th Flowdreaming 101 show I've done. 18. Are you sure?
It's a show where we talk about the power of your mind
to change your world around you,
to literally affect
the fabric of your reality.
We talk about this feeling of hope
and joy
and relief. And that is what being aware of your flow does. It gives you a feeling of power again in your lives.
Breathe.
I'm Summer McStravick, and welcome to another episode of Flowdreaming.
Okay, so for some of you, that was instantly recognizable, right? That was the Charlie Brown, the Peanuts teacher. Whenever an adult would talk, they did that sound. And I did it because, oh my goodness, Flowdreaming, what is it? How can it help you? Why is it transformational? Why has it been around so darn long? We are exploring all of that in this show, number 618, Flowdreaming 101. This is your welcome to Flowdreaming show, right? This is your what is it? I've been listening. Maybe it sounds interesting, but what's this whole Flowdreaming stuff about? So sit down, Charlie Brown. We're going to go into what manifesting is, your ability to do it, how simple and easy it can be using the Flowdreaming technique. And what the 18 refers to is that as I was sitting down to do research for this show, which, by the way, it took me so much longer than I thought because I ended up kind of traveling through, a long time, 15 years, looking for all the times I had broadcast an episode that just taught straight up Flowdreaming. And I ended up with 17, and this will be number 18. And there might even be more. In fact, I'll do a quick rundown, not till the end of the show because it'll bore the heck out of you who are just brand new to Flowdreaming, but I will do it at the end. I will tell you every episode number. You can also look up in my show notes at flowdreaming.com and find every Flowdreaming Basics 101 Intro to What Flow Is show I've ever done. And I've got to throw this out there. If there's any of you and you're sure that you've listened to all of these, and maybe you'll listen to them again, refresher. I mean, this is serious, right? 18 of these suckers. If you send me an email with a recap of each one of these, as well as maybe what your top ones are, like your top picks, I might do something special for you. Like you would warrant being a guest on my show and just sharing. And if that freaks you out, oh, well, we'd figure out something else. But to any of you diehards out there that want to do that, go for it. And again, I'll give that list at the end. So what are we here for today? What is Flowdreaming? Why are you tuning into this particular podcast? Well, Flowdreaming, I don't want to say it's one of the original manifesting techniques because that feels, I don't know. I can't verify if it's one of the originals. I do know that one of my students called me the mother of manifesting a few days ago, and I just lit up inside. It was like, it's the mother of dragons plus manifesting. And it's true. I've been practicing this technique my whole life. I introduced it to my colleagues, which resulted in multiple book deals, which resulted in the last 15 years of solid teaching, growing into a whole program, a school, a kind of worldwide phenomenon for people who are looking for a way to co-create, connect with the universe, program your future self, and really understand that what you are is what gets made, right? It's not that life makes stuff and throws it at you. Life makes stuff based on what you are doing in interaction with it. It's a game changer because it takes you out of being totally powerless in your life. It shows you where all of your power actually is. And then the technique asks you, what do you want to do with this? Like, what do you want to make now that you know? Game changer. So what we're going to do this hour is explore flow dreaming from the ground up. I'm going to share with you the basics of the technique. If you are an old school flow dreamer, listen in again. I was very curious to know how would I teach it after having taken a several year break talking about these fundamentals. I know every year I practice, I gain a deeper understanding. I grow with it. I see the challenges that are within it. I see the successes that happen because of it. So I think every time I teach it personally, I hope it becomes richer with more depth and more thought. So maybe this will end up being the best Flow Dreaming 101 episode that I've ever put out. So we're going to backpedal a little bit here. I'm going to make a few assumptions about you right now. I'm going to assume that you have heard of manifesting. Maybe you've heard of co-creating, guided meditation, perhaps positive affirmations, tapping, Sedona method. Maybe you followed the works of several other prominent people in the field of teaching you how to create more of what you want in your life. And then somehow you landed up here with this podcast and you maybe read a little and said, oh, wow, this woman has done some pretty awesome things. She worked with Wayne Dyer for so many years and was his co-host, and she wrote these books and traveled and spoke. And so, I got your attention because I put some credibility down for you. Now what? Because honestly, all the credibility in the world doesn't mean anything if you're not able to move someone, shift their thinking, teach them something in a short amount of time that can be simple and completely game-changing. So that said, everything you're going to learn from me right now, you can also get, I have put it in a package together for you, a free kit you can find on flowdreaming.com. Just go there and download the free kit. You can also download the app onto your mobile device, your Android, your Apple, your iPhone, whatever, and it will also contain a series of files, quick start guide, PDF guides, as well as audio guides, and your first practice flow dream. But now that you're here with me, let's do it together, because may as well dip your toes in right now. So flow dreaming came about because for many years, my family had practiced a form of, I don't know what you'd call it, enhanced prayer communication. I come from a long line. I'm the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter. We just go back. And one of the things we've always done in my family is recognize that we have power. We have power in our lives, power in the universe. Now, not power over everything. All of us are aging. All of us have to deal with other people in our lives, yes. But there is some intrinsic glowing ability within us where we can say to our life and the world, this is here what I came to do. Help me. How can I show you day to day, moment to moment, this is what I want. This is what I'm here for. So flow dreaming for me, I stumbled on it when I was in my, early 20s. I was practicing a different technique, actually, and drifted into this space. And in this space, I realized I have lost complete track of time, and I don't know where I am. And I am not meditating because my mind is very much awake and active and chit-chatty, and I'm not asleep. I'm not lucid dreaming. Where the heck am I? And that's when I realized flow state. It exists. I began a pilgrimage to figure out what it is, where it comes from. I interviewed at least a dozen physicists. At the time, I was working as the new media director of Hay House. I was also co-hosting my program with Dr. Wayne Dyer. Louise Hay, Reed Tracy, my bosses, putting together phenomenal programs written by, created by the leading luminaries of self-growth, personal development. And I'm entering my own quest unbeknownst to me at the time. Never had any desire to create flow dreaming as a technique, to create my own company around it, to share it with the world. It was still something I just did myself. It's how I made stuff happen in my life, like my present job. So fast forwarding a little bit, I'm pursuing what this is, figuring it out, teaching it, talking about it, now starting to share it with my colleagues, now writing a book about it, now writing another book about it, and it is just going out there like crazy. And people are saying, this feels really good. You know, maybe I follow Abraham Hicks, and what you're saying is the boots on the ground method. It's the way of getting it actually happening in my life. I don't just think things anymore or know things or think about shifting or pivoting or any of that. I have a practice that does it for me. I do it and I shift. I do it and I pivot. I do it and I get into those feeling states that I'm looking for in my life. Simultaneously, law of attraction erupts on the scene. Everybody's thinking about the secret. Everybody's thinking and running around about, how do I manifest? Do I call it to me? Do I put up a big blazoning star in the sky of attraction? Meanwhile, flow dreaming is popping and percolating along. And people are coming in like you and listening and starting to practice, seeing what happens. And here exactly is what happens. When you enter flow state, by the way, is something that was identified by the positive psychologist, Dr. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. He identified it as a state of awareness where you are in absolute non-resistance, where if you are pursuing something, you move it to the highest level of its development within you, where you do lose track of time, you do lose track of space. You're operating at your very highest capacity and almost otherworldly capacity, right? Flow state has been applied to golfing in a state of flow, to scientific breakthroughs in a state of flow. You know, Einstein got his greatest breakthroughs while playing the violin, allowing himself to move into a state of beautiful, flowing sound. So this is great, right? You can use flow dreaming, you can use flow to get into a heightened state of ability. Fantastic. What else? Well, this is where I started to think about what I had been doing and practicing, and I realized it sounds a lot like flow state, right? Sounds like I just shift into this place, this being where everything is just flowing forward. There's no resistance. My life feels good. Everything is open. All the doors fly open before me. And I can feel things and see things here. And the things I see are brighter and bigger and just connect and come together. I must be entering flow. But where am I doing it exactly? Because I'm not doing it around, my golf swing. We took flow here and applied it to the realm of spirituality, right? Personal growth. That deep desire in each one of us to reach that other realm, to reach that expanded state of our consciousness, of our being, our soul self, higher self, expanded self, universal self, whatever you want to call it. What happens if you flow with your source? This is where it gets into that game-changing territory. This sounds great, right? But how do you get there? Well, the way I got there was to daydream. Literally, I just started daydreaming because that's what my original technique that I had been trying did. I daydreamed and I dreamed up images that felt really good. I'm flying in the air. I'm going up in the clouds. I'm gliding. Everything feels easy and pure and like at the highest space possible. I'm in Source's arms and just releasing, relaxing into this. What I was doing was daydreaming in a kind of lucid way. Now, normally when you daydream, you lose track of time, right? You lose track of the fact that you're in a daydream. The classic daydream is you're driving home and your thoughts are on other things, and then you're pulling in a driveway and you're like, oh my God, I hope I stopped at all of the stoplights because I don't remember the last 6 blocks. I was someplace else. Right? You're sitting in your work meeting and they're like, Bob, do you have anything to say? And you're like, no, because I haven't been here for the last 15 minutes. I don't actually know what was going on. When you're lucid daydreaming, you're daydreaming and letting go, but there's a part of you that's still running the show. It's sort of like lucid dreaming at night. You ever try practicing that? I sure have. And sometimes I've been able to, and I've been lucky and diligent. I've been able to wake up and change the course of my dreams, be active and aware in them. It's a real cool feeling. But I also practice lucid daydreaming as part of this flow process every single day. So what I'm getting at is flow dreaming has 3 distinct components that when you bring them together, create this 1 + 1 + 1 = 4 kind of equation. It's powerful. The missing component that I haven't told you about is emotion. It's feeling. So you can be in flow. You can use guided daydreaming and visualize. Literally, that's what you're doing. You're letting your imagination go. Your imagination is saying, I'm going to dream and pretend that I'm in this flowing, easy state of being where everything in my life is just right and good. And don't worry, I'll go more into later why it's right and good there. Okay. But for now, you're using whatever imagery comes to you. I use a ton of different imagery, just depending on what I feel like. Sometimes I'm in a flowing river. Sometimes I'm on sugar sand beach. Sometimes I'm in this really rich and alive desert filled with light. Sometimes I'm up in the sky. Sometimes I'm a bird flying through the air. Sometimes I'm little bubbles rising up and letting myself drift into the current of life. Always recognizing that the current of life does have a direction. Flow means movement. Flow means not a blank state, but a moving, beautiful, vibrant, hyper-engaged state. And I daydream and pretend I'm there. First 2 components: flow energy, flow awareness, and guided daydreaming. Third one, I just said it, right? You remember it? Emotion. So you can go into the state, but it does no good if you just go in there and you're like, well, I'm here. This is cool. Actually, it does a lot of good, right? That's called positive alignment. It's called being in flow, aligning yourself to the flow of life and the universe and everything that's for your highest good. But it does no good if you're there to do some futuristic programming, co-creating, and manifesting. This is where I bring my emotion in. This is where I realized many, many years ago that when I move into this space, think about it for a second. Imagine there was no physical anymore. I know we talk about it a lot, all the dimensions and this and that. But imagine if there really were no physical. Well, the only way you have physical is if you have an extra dimension, right? There's 3 dimensions that make physical: height, width, and depth. Then you add in the 4th, time. If you didn't have time, everything would be frozen. You'd have physical, but it would never change. You wouldn't ever grow. You wouldn't even have consciousness because you'd be a little frozen speck on a frozen piece of matter, never changing. But time is this beautiful thing that allows us to grow and develop, and time flows in a certain direction, at least for us. And when we're flowing in this direction of time, and we're moving our consciousness a little bit outside of space as we go into this flow state, how do you think you would communicate out there? Would you just talk? Believe me, words become incredibly inadequate. They just can't say. We've all been tongue-tied. We've all had that experience of not being able to say what we feel. Just words fail us. There is no word for this. We've also all been able to communicate with other people, with animals, with nature, through something other than words. You look in your dog's eyes and you feel like, I know exactly what you're thinking and feeling. I can't put words to it, but I know. I feel it. Emotion is the universal architecture language, at least in our part of the universe. I'll qualify that. But here, emotion is the one thing that no matter who you run into on the entire earth, you will be able to communicate through that feeling state. That feeling state is potent. That feeling state contains 1,000 words in a single feeling. That feeling state is like a bright, glowing ball of energy, of communication that you can allow to just grow out from you, expand into space around you, expand into flow around you. And the minute you allow that to happen, depending on what that emotion is, the universe vibrates in response to it. It says, oh, I feel this with you. When you're flow dreaming, you are communicating to your life and your future in the language of emotion. What you feel is what you are creating. And perhaps this is one more really important point to put in here because I'm really trying to distill this down, make it simple. What you feel at any given time is like ringing a bell through the universe, through space, through time, outside of space, outside of time. It's ringing a bell. That sound, can you imagine it? Just travels through everything. Sound travels through walls, it travels through cells, it travels through air, it travels out into the universe and goes on and on and on. The speed of sound, right? Sound, ringing a bell. So that sound is a thing. Like it happened. It's a thing. It's now part of life. It's now part of the universe. It's now part of you. It's part of your soul. Why? Because you made it. You experienced it. What becomes part of you always stays part of you. It never gets undone. A little tiny bit of information inscribed into the universe never becomes uninscribed. Once something is known, it is not ever unknown. This is an ancient understanding. Everything from paganism to quantum physicists acknowledge this one basic law, which means that when you are in this process of co-creating, of manifesting, of flow dreaming, of describing to the world, this is who I am, this is who I am. Whatever you're feeling is indeed who you are. This doesn't matter at all if the rest of your life has said yes or no to it yet, or has validated it with any kind of external physical response. You make it, you are it. Let's make this practical. Let's say I'm in my flow. And one thing I want so much in my life right now is to feel a relief from fear and pressure and anxiety. Right? Let's just say I have a lot of fear, pressure, and anxiety in my life. And I want to feel like, not anymore. And I want my life to co-create that with me. I actually don't want to just feel that way. I want it to be that way in my life. Well, why do you think life is going to give you anything different than what you've been already feeling? It is ridiculous to think something new will show up when you keep giving your life and resounding, ringing the same bell tone over and over. Pressure, anxiety, pressure, anxiety, pressure, anxiety. Life lines up around you and says, okay, you keep making this. We will support you. Remember, the universe, life, source, God, whatever you want to call it, supports you by aligning to you. So instead of putting out that stress and anxiety, let's say I'm in my flow and I say, I am creating relief, stability, and abundance. I feel relief. I feel strong, stable, safe, and I feel abundant. I feel this now. I let these emotions rise up in me. And sometimes this is the hardest thing for new flow dreamers to do. Because you're like, I don't have enough experience of ever having felt that way. Can I just pretend to feel it even though I don't really know what it is? The answer is yes. Start. A child drawing a human body, right? They draw a stick figure and little spiky hair, and they often forget the nose and the ears. You know what? But they start drawing. Start feeling the emotion. You will get better. Now, let's say you're feeling this emotion. I'm really strong. I'm really well taken care of by the universe, by life. I feel so safe. I feel relieved, and I feel abundant. I have everything I need. And you're doing this in flow. You're doing this in the bridge that you created between physical and non-physical by using the technique of guided daydreaming inside of flow. And now you're communicating there. And now you're expanding in this state using this feeling. What are you doing now? You're adding something to you. You are adding to the great being of you every moment, every second, every feeling, everything you do, think, achieve, anything becomes part of who you are. Every second in that lovely thing called time that you get to experience something new gets added onto you. It's like remember having kids, and maybe you haven't, but if you had kids, you would know that remember your nephews and nieces. They take the Play-Doh and it's all in these neat colors and they mash it together and then they start sticking little pieces on and you're like, no, don't do that. It's all going to turn brown. But they just keep adding and sticking little colors and pieces and mushing them all together. Every time you feel something, you are adding a little piece of Play-Doh to you. You become that brown piece of Play-Doh. But you don't become brown, hopefully, if you're using all the brightest and lightest colors. And maybe you've been feeling like, yeah, I'm brown Play-Doh. I've been feeling lack and fear, insecurity, inferiority, disappointment, resignation, frustration, my whole life. Summer, come on. You want me to change that now? Yes, I do. I want you to start feeling something else now in your flow and begin adding that to you. Because you know what? When you do that, here's what happens. You become someone else. You become someone new. You have stopped waiting for other people to allow you to get there, to offer you the privileges and the opportunities or the chances to get there. You said, no. I'm not waiting on you anymore. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I am adding to me. I know more than anyone else in the entire universe who and what I want to become. I am going to add it to me now. Starting now. Whew. Can you feel that even when I describe it? What occurs when you take your power back that way? I am glossing over an entire program's worth of deep content here. We've been talking about emotional endpoints and power leaks and all kinds of things that I would love to explain to you in greater detail. But for the moment, do you know what the power of this process can do for you right now? You feel something different about you. You don't wait for anybody else to give you permission, to give you a reason to feel it. There's a name for this. I call it pre-action. Most of us walk around reacting to everything in the world. Something happens, we react. Little text comes up on the phone, you react. Gotta get up for work, it's a reaction. Gotta get up because of work. 90% of your time, you're reacting. You're just responding to things. Well, where's the manifester there? Where's the creator? Where's the person who's saying, I want to look and feel like this in this life? Starting now. That person has to give time to that process. You've got to give moments in your day to say, I'm going to pre-spawn, not respond. I'm going to pre-act, not react. For once in my life, I'm going to feel how I want to feel. And I'm going to turn the tables on this whole reality thing. And I'm going to tell the world, give me that, respond to that, reply all. It's quite a shift in our thinking. It's not the way our culture and our world trains us to think. They train us to be good worker bees, following what needs to be done, gathering the fruits and the berries, keeping ourselves warm in the winter and surviving. But we want more than survival. And if you've been in survival, you know what survival feels like. I sure do. Now you're doing more than surviving. You're spreading out the architecture. You're spreading out the blueprints on the table and saying, no, this is actually my life, and I'm feeling it into being. I'm feeling it first, and now I'm challenging you, life outside of me, physical world. How can you show up and match me? I'm tired of matching life. Matching life is random. It is full of pitfalls and other people's crud. It is difficult. It's just blindfolded on the freeway. I'm done doing that. I'm tired of getting what I'm getting and trying to pick out the good pieces. So I'm going to spend a little time each day going into my flow, practicing flow dreaming, feeling who I really am, adding that to me. I want to add the bright colors. I want to add the high feelings, the good thoughts, the joy, the prosperity. I'm adding that into me now through all of my feelings, and I'm building and I'm building. Every time I feel this, it is ringing a bell, a golden bell through the universe, making more of that sound, that energy. It becomes who I am. That, my friends, is flow dreaming, right? That's it. It's simple. Simple. I mentioned that I had a free kit that taught you this process again and walk you through experimenting. Please go get it if you haven't done it already. Pause this. Go on and click it and just get it. Tap in flowdreaming.com or swipe over on your phone and download the app. All right. There's a whole bunch of files in there already plugged in, free for you. The other thing you can do is go on Amazon.com and grab one of my books, right? Just get a book sent to you. You'll have it here tomorrow if you're, if you're Amazon Prime. Learn it. Now, once you do, you're going to come back to me with like a million questions. What can I do? Because summer, I want a new job and I want a great, partner, and, my health needs some fixing up, and, I have all this lack thinking, and oh my gosh, and I have these blocks and these patterns. I'm like, whew, slow down, horsey. We're going to get to all of it. This is such an exciting journey to bring you into. You can tell I'm smiling in my voice. It makes me feel so happy to bring you into this place of power. Now that you know this basic framework for what flow dreaming is, there are a zillion million things you can do with it. Number one, I took a poll actually in my Flow Dreaming Facebook group. It's called I Love Flow Dreaming. It's a free group. You just come into it and you find a bunch of other people who are practicing this. I said, what do you use Flow Dreaming for predominantly? I'm really curious, because me, I use it for all kinds of stuff. Number one, straight up manifesting, programming my future, becoming the person I want to become, communicating to my life, my greater self, my higher self, God, source. This is who I am and this is what I want. Match me. I'm giving you the blueprints. I'm writing the script. I'm the playwright, and here's how I'm doing it. Hands down, number one thing that they did. Doesn't even matter if you don't believe in manifesting per se or law of attraction. Notice I've hardly even used law of attraction because it has a certain way of people thinking about it already. And flow dreaming for me is different, frankly. Number two reason people use flow dreaming is what I call emotional reconditioning. It's almost like a byproduct of flow dreaming, right? I realized this years into the process. Not only was I starting to show up differently in my life, within my family, at work, in the universe, because I was saying, here's who I am, come match me. Here's how I'm feeling, come match me. Give me opportunities. And then my life would say, well, yeah, we'll get in alignment with that because that's what we do. So here's the opportunity. And I'd get it and I'd go, wow, that was awesome. Next, let's go a little higher. Let's see what I can hold, man. Let's see how big I can take this. But then I also realized something was happening to my emotional self. I went from a state of feeling like I didn't have much power in my life or around the world. Power is different than control, friends, right? Control means I make everybody do what I want them to do, and they do it on my schedule and exactly how I say it because I know everything. And I'm frustrated when I don't get it. Flow dreaming, you will be on divine timing plan. Just saying that. But inner power is you can feel any way you want to feel right now. No one can ever take that away from you, no matter what they do, say, or don't do or say. This also means that if you are feeling things you don't want to feel, like for me, I used to have a lot of fear. I said, I don't want to feel fearful anymore. It's the number one thing holding me back from achieving more in my life. I want to get rid of my fear. I use flow dreaming to feel the way I wanted to feel the emotions that I knew were the true me without waiting to go through tragedies and all kinds of hardships to gain clarity on those feelings, to feel like I had earned them. I said, no, I'm going to feel them now. I'm going to feel them now and see what happens. Oof, game changer again. So this kind of emotional reconditioning means that you can shift away from lack thinking, scarcity thinking, whatever you want to call it, fear, and you can start feeling who you are and how you want to feel. This can completely change your day. Because you wake up, I guarantee a half a dozen lack thoughts cross your mind before you've even left the house. You walk into the bathroom and you think, oh my God, my hair, I got to do something with it. It looks so bad. So you've just told the universe, I think my hair looks bad. Confirm that for me, please, because I just told you to. And then you go downstairs and you're like, I'm just going to have coffee and skip breakfast because I'm already too fat. And you just told the universe, I'm fat, I'm heavy, I don't like how I look. Please confirm that for me. Align things to me that match that. You walk out into your car and you're like, oh gosh, I wish I didn't live here with all this ice. God, if I could only move, but I can't. And you just told the universe, I can't move. I'm stuck. I've got to deal with this. And then you get in your car and you sit in the seats and you just feel like, oh man, I'm paying so much for this thing. God, I hope I have enough. I'm trying to get through day by day. Right? How many lack thoughts are just running on autopilot? This, my friends, can change. They do not have to be here on autopilot inside you anymore. In fact, every time one comes up, it can be a shocker. Like, whoa, where did you come from? I haven't seen you lack thought in a long time. Hey, let's get rid of you. And then what happens? You become that joyful person, that delightful person, that person who is optimistic, who gets a lot of great things pouring into their life, gifts and experiences and opportunities and joy and support. Did I mention support? When you flow dream, you feel support. And maybe you're thinking, Summer, this is like prayer. God gives me support. Yes. I once taught this process to a bunch of very elderly Irish nurses. Not nurses, goodness sakes, where's my head? Irish nuns. Oh. And I was so nervous. I was like, you guys have this down. Don't you spend like 5 hours a day in prayer? And what they said was, wow, I have never prayed in Technicolor like you just showed me how to pray today. So, yes, bring your support, bring your spirituality, bring your faith, and bring this internal process called flow dreaming into your life. Make it as part of your day as a gratitude journal or a yoga practice or a green smoothie, because it changes you and it changes your future. And it empowers you. And it helps direct you and show you what your next step is and stretch you and grow you and give you security. Just don't even ask, right? Just start being it. See what the highest feeling you can feel is. It's an interesting exercise. So I'm going to wrap that up. Flow Dreaming 101. Perhaps the most interesting way I've ever explained it. I stripped out all the science. I just got into how it works and the 3 little parts. And now the actual practice. I want to take you guys into a flow dream with me. Please don't think we're meditating. I always say that because people still get confused. Oh, there are some Amazon book reviews that are positively cringy. Same for the podcast because they go like this. I wanted to like it, but the woman speaks so loud and fast and just tone it down a bit. And I got to tell you, we're not meditating here. We're getting galvanized. We're getting filled, fueled with feeling and emotion. And I want to stimulate your imagination, give your mind something to do so that eventually you're going to release. It's like running really hard and then suddenly flying. You forget that you were running. You're just there now. And now you're communicating. And you're in your daydream. And you listen to me. And I'm going to tell you, this is what you're feeling. Feel it. Your job isn't to think about what to feel, because I'm there narrating for you. You just feel it. You become it to the degree you possibly can. And I want you to feel what it's like to be aligned into a flow of your life, a forward motion that is positive, blooming, growing, deepening, expanding, and supporting. There is always a track of least resistance. Always. If you have any doubt, simple image in your mind. There's a stormy day and a sunny day, and they're right next to each other. And there's this little bird, and the bird's thinking to itself, I can fly on the soft winds, just spread my wings out and be carried. Or I can fly in the stormy sky, and the wind pushes against me, and I struggle and I flap and I struggle and I just don't get very far. I'm using so much energy. Right? Those are polar opposites. But they really show you. Flow is the floating bird. Struggle, resistance, it's the bird in the storm. And every time you go into flow and you feel the lack of resistance and the float and the flow and the harmony and the forward motion and the peace, you are now creating more of that in you, in your life, in the universe, in your higher self, in the grand scheme, the blueprint of everything that you are writing about your soul right now. So you guys ready? I'm going to close our eyes. Practice it. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. As you exhale, allow all the tension to release from your body. Breathe deep. Relax your hips. Relax your abdomen and your core. Your chest expands and your shoulders drop. Roll your neck. Release your jaw. Allow your forehead to smooth and release. Relaxing into flow. Notice the space around you. Notice your position in the space, how you occupy the molecules, the atoms within the space. You are of the space, part of the space, and yet different and distinct from it. There is a border between you and everything else. And yet, you also sense that everything, including you, is in motion, is lively, made of energy, swirling, moving, communicating, in motion all around you. If you were very small and you saw it from that perspective, you and everything around you would be so filled with energy and light and movement. Movement. Flowing through time, ticking through the seconds and the minutes, subtly changing every moment that goes by. You feel this, you notice this, you acknowledge this. I am one with everything around me. I am a part of it, a piece of it, and yet distinct. I am me, my consciousness, my awareness, my energy, my own flowing movement. I have a past that trails behind me, a present and a future that is strung out before me, out into the mists. And I can feel that I am right here in motion with everything, moving into my future too. Noticing the movement of the world around you as it wavers, the space around you changes, and you begin to see, what if there is something behind all of this physical? What if I was so small I could see through the physical into the subtle structures that pull it all together? And now you do. And that's where you are. You're in a beautiful space. It's filled with lights, color, and maybe there are strings and structures, something quantum and quite elegant. The beautiful inner clockwork of life. And yet, even beyond this, there's something else. It's a tug, it's a faint sound, it's a feeling that says, you can't hold still. You're moving and you're growing, because as soon as you absorb and notice one thing, you have just changed. And every moment you change, you could feel this in you. You're changing every second, and as you change, you become the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, growing and growing. What a blessing. How gorgeous, how godlike that you could change and grow like this every moment, every second, and it is never taken away from you. It is never stopped. It is ongoing, constant, incessant. Who are you? What are you adding to you? How and where are you flowing in your life? And that moment of realization, you say, I am flowing into grace. I am flowing into ease. I am flowing into goodness. I am flowing into positivity. I am flowing into perfect and gorgeous alignment, and you feel it. And in that second, something in your chest, something in your deep being lets go. It's like a little lock that just turns a notch, and now you release. You release. And you flow, and you just feel it. How good it is, pure it is, how time and your life and the subtle essence and the divinity and the grace and the intelligence is carrying you into every experience, one after another, because of love. I love you. Grow, my child. I love you. Grow, my child. Add to yourself. Grow. And you say grow, and you can feel it's like the divine breath lighting you. Grow, grow, align. Everything in your life can be positive and good and pure and on track. Do you wish this? And what is your answer? How do you feel your answer back right now, coming out of your heart? What is the answer? Yes. feel this. I want this growth, and I want this alignment, and I want this grace, and I want this support. And you feel the path. It's filled with ease. There's no friction. You realize there's enough friction and resistance elsewhere. You'll create it. Other people will create it. Your actions, your misintentions. But here, this place of purity you're in, it's easy. It's flowing and it's divine. There is no room. There is no room for anything that is not pure, flowing, ease-filled, and divine. This is abundance. This is support. This is alignment. This is you having all of your needs filled. You feel that? Bring it into you. Bring it, carry it in. Pull it from the ethers. Pull it from the air, from the energies that surround you. Pull it from the gorgeous flow of light that you're in. Do you see the flow? Is it like a soft, flowing, billowing, beautiful stream of light, of energy, and you are drawn along perfectly into your life, into your future, gobbling it down, grateful for every breath, saying, yes, I am aligned. I am in my highest self. I am in flow. I am in flow. Everything that is difficult falls away. Can you see it? Look around you. You see the difficulties falling away. They can't touch you. They cannot even cling to you. They can't even reach your height. Difficulty, trouble, dilemma, indecision, all of it flowing, falling down. Can't reach you. Can't see you. Not where you are. Where you are is beautiful and pure. And you feel yourself reaching right now a small scene of a small pool of light, the beautiful fountain, the fountain of divinity, of grace. And bubbling up from this fountain, this light, this energy, you realize is the stuff of creation, the raw stuff of everything my days are made from. And I am here dipping my hand in, feeling its softness flow over my fingers, knowing that as I touch it, it responds to who I am and what I am. And what am I? What do I give it? Who is the best person in me? The person I love, the person I admire, the person who is the giver, the lover, the maker, the creator, the person who sees the future, who acts from their highest place of love and awareness. That's me, that's me, that's the me, that's me, and that's the me that touches the fountain. And I say, more of this. Whatever this looks like, whatever this means in my future. Tomorrow, the next day, when I re-enter time, whatever this means, this little touch of divinity and grace, this highest point in me touching this highest point of all, this will become something. It will become a gift, a little jewel box in my hand. It will be a gift that I made because of who I am. Because I allowed myself to feel this and be this. And I will see this in my life, and I will see it enter me, and it could be some sort of beautiful gift or opportunity or a little bit of shiny, shimmery love or confidence just when I need it, or something to help me turn the corner. But it will be there because I made it, along with source and flow and my life, and I am deserving of this, and I receive this, and of all the things I want to give back to life, it's going to be something high and pure and good, just like this. Now that I know that this is on the table, that this is happening, this is already being put into motion before me, things are coming together, the lights and the streams and all the energies of all the other people are coming together into this creation, something beautiful. Maybe it's momentous and maybe it's small, but it's exactly what I need. Now that I know this, my heart feels light. It is singing with joy. It is fluttering with light. And I feel this happiness, this perfect and beautiful alignment of this positive flow singing through me. I feel different. What I just made, proud to have given to myself and to life. I feel like this is right. This is the real me. And that's the feeling I hold. Coming back, even now, returning from flow, opening my eyes. How do you feel? Right? This flow was a bit longer. They don't have to be this long. I enter flow in seconds, stay there for 20, come back. But when you're going into flow for the first time, you might have a sense that I was kind of there, kind of not. I saw stuff and then I didn't see it. I was sort of gone, drifting, and then you stumbled on a word and it pulled me back, right? This is normal, going in and out. In and out. Perfectly normal. But if at any point you felt a moment of, I'm somewhere else, I forgot that I was sitting in a room, that I had earbuds in, or I just experienced something, I felt something, that was flow. You feel it once, you can feel it over and over and extend it over and over. And now this is what you're starting to create as you. This is who you are now becoming. And this is what your life will respond to, your future will respond to, because that's what flow dreaming means. Your future responds to what you are. So what are you? Right? Oof, so powerful, gives me shivers. So for those of you who love this one, I know some of you have been asking for me to redo Positive Flow. By the way, Positive Flow is the flow dream that you get in the free kit and that everybody gets the first time they ever come to flowdreaming.com and go to the shop. I will seek to do something with this flow dream. I don't know what I'll call it yet, but I'm sure I'll announce it at some point later. But you will have an opportunity, I'm sure, to get this one and add it to your collection without having to re-listen to a whole long podcast over and over again. Now, if you're really excited about flow dreaming, I want to direct you to one more resource, and that is the Flow Dreaming shop and the app. I know I've mentioned it, but what I've done there is I've recorded hundreds of different flow dreams, just like this one, but on different topics, like really zeroed in. Maybe the topic is on repairing my heart after a breakup. Maybe the topic is finding a new home for myself that I love and feel comfortable and safe in. Maybe a topic would be, I need to go big. It's really time to be seen and bust through in my career. Maybe it's, I need to shift all of my lack thoughts around money. Believe me, all of these are there. So go through. I highly encourage you to start right now with the Flow Dreaming Essentials package, and you'll be able to find that. It's a series of flow dreams that I've personally selected that I think are great for beginners. So go get the Flow Dreaming Essentials package. That's the very best one to start with. Now, for all of you who've really stuck around to the end, I promised that I would give you a recap of all the other Flow Dreaming 101 shows. Now, bear in mind, because I've been describing the process for like 15 years, every time I describe it is different. When I was younger, I described it differently than I did just now, because my own relationship has also changed and deepened. You may discover you love my interpretation from 4 years ago. Who knows? I urge you to take a listen. And those of you who want to listen to them all, well, write up a little something. Get in touch with me because I'm very curious to know which are the best ones, right? If I only gave 3 of them out to people, if I recommended 3, what would they be? So, drum roll, please. We're starting with March 2005, the very first episode, 01. Flow Dreaming 101, the original pilot. Embarrassing, but I had to keep it on the list because, well, it started everything. Next one, number 65 from August 2006, called Flow Dreaming for Beginners. And then you have number 97 from June 2007, Flow Dreaming 101, a must-listen show, followed by number 108 from October 2007, The Art of Flow Dreaming. Then number 124 from March 2008, The Flow State of Mind. Then we've got number 146, September 2008, Flow Dreaming for Beginners. Number 136, June 2008, Manifesting, a Refresher Course. Number 187, August 2009, Flow Energy, What is it and how to use it? Number 196, October 2009, What is Flow Dreaming? Number 209 from January 2010, Fundamentals of Flow Dreaming. Number 277, May 2011, The Art of Flow Dreaming, Manifesting 101. And then we rush right up to number 315, February 2012. Listen to this episode first, an introduction, flow dreaming and empathic intuition. Well, I was pretty strident about that one, huh? Listen to this first. Again, number 346, October 2012, Flow Dreaming Basics. 362, February 2013, Basics of Flow Dreaming. Number 416, May of 2014, Flow Dreaming Quick Start Guide, How to Flow Dream Fast and Effectively. Number 445, January 2015, Flow Dreaming, What is My Next Step After Basics? And finally, number 529, from March 2017, my most favorite manifesting method ever. Now, if I talked like an auctioneer and went way too fast and you were trying to jot this down, just check out the show notes. I'll have all of those episodes referenced for you there. So there you have it, my friends. Welcome to the world of flow. I really look forward to getting to know you over the months and potentially years. We are a loving, giving, fabulously powerful community. And remember, hang out with the people that you want to be like. Mom was right. You do become who your friends are. And I hope you'll become one of ours. I will see you for the next episode of Flow Dreaming. And hopefully I'll also see you on my Facebook, I Love Flow Dreaming group, and possibly even in Me School. More on that later. Take care, everybody. Love ya. Hey friends, a couple things to tell you about that I think you'll really enjoy. Flow Dreaming is a universe, actually. In other words, yes, there is a technique, but it's also an entire community of those of us who flow dream. And I have a lot to give you to get you started. That's 100% free. So if you go to flowdreaming.com, the first thing you need to do is download my free kit that teaches you how to flow dream. It contains a audio of a flow dream that's been recorded called Positive Flow, just to get you right into flow state in under 15 minutes. It also includes a tutorial and a PDF guidebook. Now, if you're on your mobile device right now, you can also get it by just going to the App Store and downloading the Flow Dreaming app, and it will come preloaded with this wonderful kit for you to learn the process. The next thing I wanted to mention for you is that Me School is my active, gorgeous, beautiful community of flow dreamers. And we learn together, we share, and we grow into our manifestational, our co-creational, and mostly our own deep, immense inner power. We do this together in a mentorship type, school type format, but believe me, no tests, no quizzes. It's the best place you've ever been to. It calls itself a school. But it's really the place where you will completely transform yourself from inside out. So check that out too. Last of all, I hope I see you guys on Facebook or Instagram. Just look up Summer Mixtravic or Flowdreaming and come say hi to me there. Until next time, my love to you all.